Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to the movie review for Halloween month. And since we're at when I reviewed the original Dawn of the Dead and the remake. I just thought to continue on the next film that George A. Romero did, because Dawn of the Dead is my favorite zombie movie, but this one I would say is a very good sequel. I would even say it's a great sequel. I would say. So next continuing on is George A. Romero's 1985 film Day of the Dead, which is this like a special edition because I like how it shows you of our zombie character Bub, and I like how it opens like this. You have our imagery here of Dr. Logan, and opens up. It even contains a little booklet for the files of Dr. Logan. This is the special 2-disc edition. It's a nice way to open up. It has a lot of features. For the first disc, has a commentary with director George A. Romero, special makeup effects Tom Savini, who helped do the effects and makeup stuff like on this film as well as he did for the second film. Fantastic, which I would say fantastic makeup effects once again. Also in the commentary is production designer Cletus Anderson, the actress Laurie Cardille, and another commentary with filmmaker Roger Avary. And disc 2 has the many days of Day of the Dead, all new 39-minute documentary featuring interviews with George A. Romero. Producer David Ball, special makeup effects art Tom Savini, and Greg Nicotero, who also has a role in this movie as well. Of course, Greg Nicotero now famously, everyone asks for Greg Nicotero, automatically think of him doing the effects and directed several episodes of The Walking Dead. Production designer Cletus Anderson, assistant director Chris Romero, who I think is the son of George A. Romero. Could be wrong, but I think it is. The actors Laurie Cardille, Joe Pilato, playing Captain Rose, and Howard Sherman, who plays Bub. And more features on the disc 2. He has Day of the Dead behind the scenes, 31 minutes of production footage and makeup effects from Tom Savini. Audio interview with the actor Richard Liberty, who plays Dr. Logan. One Pump Mine promotional video, trailers, TV spots, production stills, behind the scene photos, posters, and advertising art. Zombie makeups, photo gallery, continuity still gallery, gallery of memorabilia, George A. Romero bio, and DVD ROM, original screenplay production memos. So there's a lot of features on this. And what can I say about Day of the Dead? I love Dawn of the Dead still, because that's my favorite one. But I would still think this is another great zombie movie. And of course, like I said before, they did a remake in 2008, the one that Steve Miner directed. I would say it's another one of the worst remakes. Like I said before, with the stupid thing with the vegetarian zombie, especially ones that are like other zombies that are like they can jump up like they're freaking on the walls or like Spider-Man and stuff like that. I hate that one. Doesn't. I don't know why, but like I said, that was a shitty remake, but the remake of Dawn of the Dead I highly enjoy. But this film, I would say, is another great zombie movie. Now, originally that there was supposed to be like there was a little altercations during production because George A. Romero that originally this was supposed to have a bigger budget though, but there has been like disputes that over because originally the George Romero that he wanted to have like a Gone with the Wind type of zombie film, but after other confrontations though, they decided what the thing was like the studio I think it was, and I could be wrong though, but there was some kind of altercation that made him drop from originally was $7 million budget and to $3.5 million. So he had to redo on a few things like scripts and stuff. But overall, I think I liked how the way the film turned out. I think it still turned out fine even with the alterations. Because I still think it's a great movie. And I thought the cast did a wonderful job as well, and especially Joesph Pilato as Captain Rhodes. I think he played a great bad guy. He's a bad guy that you love to hate, but he played it off well. Laurie Cardille as Sarah. You have Terry Alexander as John. Jarlath Conroy, if I mispronounced his first name, but Conroy as Bill. Richard Liberty as Dr. Logan, or as the other soldiers, they call him Frankenstein. And you also have Greg Nicotero as a role as one of the soldiers. Then you have Howard Sherman as Bub. And I would say he played Bub. That's probably playing one of the smartest zombies. They did a great, fantastic job as Bub. And basically, it takes place in Florida, whereas you see all the palm trees, which you see some palm trees like in Los Angeles, but also because they also point out because you see an alligator and you have a look like the swamps and stuff, and they even have a map of Florida as well. So, and you have Sarah flying with John and Bill, and they're flying around to see if anyone's there, but there's nothing but zombies. So they found it. So they returned back to this underground base with some remaining scientists and military people, and Captain Rhodes, who also plays a great bad guy. And they're there to help with a scientist to find something with the research, especially for Dr. Logan. He has like find a way to reverse the process for reanimation. And you see the Dr. Logan, which they call him Frankenstein, and he's working with zombies. And once again, you see wonderful effects where Sarah walks into his room where he's at, and he has like dead bodies of zombies, and like he has one like open up, you can see the rib cage, and well done effects, especially by Tom Savini. Once again, top notch effects. I even say that the makeup because even the gore is much more crazy and insane than Dawn of the Dead, to be honest, because I love Dawn of the Dead is that there wasn't that much. There wasn't like over the top gore in that one though, and it's also more well done on the faces and makeup of the zombies. Like in Dawn of the Dead, they just have this gray, pale look on their face and less of a decay on their faces. Here, it's all this right here. So I think even though I would say the gore and makeup effects are much more an improvement over Dawn of the Dead, though, but I still love Dawn of the Dead more, because that's my favorite zombie film, but I still love this film as well. So yeah, there's a little bit more improvements here and there, but still, regardless. And like I said, the gore and the makeup effects by Tom Savini is just once again a top-notch job. And so anyway, Sarah's scene, which you get basically has also like this scene right there, with Logan experimenting on the one that has the open rib cage. Like you say, he took out all the organs and stuff, but yet the body's still moving because the brain that keeps everything functioning. Like he opens up another one where he just has no head, just has to see the remaining spinal cord with the brain still attached to it, but no head, anything else, just the spinal cord and the brain. And that's like basically, and he shows he has Bub still captive. He's basically the only one that being domesticated, and he's been doing well in his experiments. And while everyone's at the table, like the dining room, well, it's a big mess hall, I wish to say, and everyone thinks the soldiers thinking everything they're doing is pointless because they've been sacrificing men, and Captain Rose doesn't like that. This is, which he says when Dr. Logan comes in, and he's I'm sorry for the yawning so much. But and he's asking what's his progress on. He says, I'll show you soon. And he says, I'll show you soon enough. And I like the line. He says, like, alright, so Frankenstein, I'm tired of you wasting my fucking time. Or another line that Captain Rose says, like, when Sarah's about to get up to leave, and he's like, I will shoot, you either sit down or I will shoot you. And then even, what's the guy's name? The other one of the soldiers' name, Steele. He says, this is all I'll do is like bang, and then Captain Rose says, "You shoot her, I shoot you." So yeah, Joesph Pilato, once again, he's a bad guy that you love to hate. And he played him off, and he played him well. So as progress is going on, you see this other. I forget this one soldier's name, but he's like mentally breaking down, and he's like almost going crazy. And to get to another point where they try to get more of these more zombies from these mines, but the guy who's like almost going crazy has an accident that results in 2 other soldiers getting killed, which one of them was Greg Nicotero. So, and more with you see more of the Doctor be making more progress with Bub, like learn how to, like, he gives him like a toothbrush, he tosses that aside, he has like a razor and does a little bit, shave a little bit off, and he has a book which is really Stephen King's Salem's Lot. Looking at it, at a point where we try to use a telephone. And then later on, when he was doing an experiment again, well, after they use the telephone, and the moments where Captain Rose comes in, he automatically just stands up like this and salutes him. So you get the idea that he was, for that little bit of memory that they saw, they guess that he was in the military before he died. And then the Doctor gives him a gun, empty though, and you see him just he looks at it, and he knows what to do with the gun, so he like cocks it back and then fires it at him, but it's empty though. So like he knows how to handle a gun, and he's gone attached to Dr. Logan, and. But then the thing that even though the Doctor, he's like he speaks, like he's making progress, like he seems like a nice guy though, but maybe because he is a little bit crazy, because not only he's been experimenting with not only with the dead zombies though, but he's also been using the dead soldiers, like one earlier, because one with had like the brain, no head, which is the brain, some of the spinal was one of the dead soldiers, which they thought they buried, but he didn't. He mysteriously took it, and you see like one of the soldiers like that was actually killed from earlier. He still has like the guy's head. So even the guy Bill and Sarah like, oh my god, just can't believe what the guy has been doing. And when the show with Bub again. How he's like listening to headphones, using like a player, the player, for the music player or tape player, and he gets rewarded with a bucket of guts, whatever. And Captain Rhodes is wondering, well, where's he getting that from? And then, before he forces the doctor, where this freezer was, he's keeping all the dead bodies of his men, and he gets pissed at that, and he shoots the crap out of the doctor, and takes all the people, the rest of our main characters' guns away, and then John, says that he's tells to put the gun. He's been told to put the guns down, or I'll shoot this one other scientist guy. And Captain Rhodes says, "You're gonna fly us out of here," and he says he won't, but then shoots that guy, kills that scientist because he warned him that he flies out here, I'll blow his head off, and he can't hold. He said he can't hold him, but shoots that guy, dead. And he forces Bill and Sarah into the mines, and then they hear the alarm because the guy who not only the guy who was who was going crazy because he also caused those two other soldiers' deaths, but he also got bitten though, but Sarah cuts his arm off so he's not infected. So he goes up there and destroys the panel box from the inside, so they can only bring it back down from the controller that's up there. He goes and lets all the zombies in, and he gives his own life, and he uses the controller, brings all the zombies down, and of course then, they say, oh shit, and the guy get out of here. Of course, Captain Rhodes, he gets there, and he goes, and being really like the coward he is, he leaves his own men there to die, because he takes a cart. And one soldier, he dies, and I thought it was like an interesting kind of death because you see like the zombies not only see dig the fingers sticking to the guy's eyes, but you see kind of stretching his head away from his body, and the guy is still screaming. But I noticed that as he's screaming, he starts out normal, but then it's getting higher and higher and higher. That's because not only he's stretching his head up, but he's also stretching all from his neck and his windpipe and his vocal cords, because you see and like that. I was like, ooh, okay. He's his vocal cords being stretched out and his head's being pulled off. That's kind of like a gruesome death. And with another gruesome death, where one of the other soldiers, he's going cuckoo as well. He's like, woo, woo. And he's shooting randomly, and then when he's getting killed, you can see one zombie peels up a part of his face off, and you see his eyeball, literally his whole eyeball just hanging right there as one piece of his skin is being ripped apart, and when he's getting his fingers bitten off, and etc. And some of the deaths of these soldiers are pretty gruesome, especially Captain Rhodes as well. He gets his comeuppance when, we'll get to him in a second, but you got Steele, who's he runs, he shoots some more zombies, and then he sees Bub. He runs into this one room because Bub, he breaks out of his chains, and he finds the doctor, and he's all happy. He wants to show him oh look, well, that's not what he says, but that's what he's thinking. Oh look, I broke out my chains on my own. But then he sees him that he's dead, and he gets really angry, and he sees a pistol on the floor, so he gets that. And when he sees Steele, he runs into that room because he's going to shoot. Bang! And I love the character of Bob. He's you say he plays one of the smartest zombies in film history. Of course you get another one, George Romero's Land of the Dead. We got that Big Daddy, where he knows he has one gun, and he knows he just goes shoots one at the armored truck, and he rallies all the zombies together. So you can see he's another one of the smartest zombies. Of all the zombie films that I've seen, Bub and Big Daddy from Land of the Dead are two of the smartest zombies I know of. But I love the character of Bub. Because it shows how he's remembering stuff, and when he sees, he even shows emotion. When he first spoiled, even though he didn't know first, he know he was dead. Though he shows how happy he is when they broke out of his chains. But they noticed until he is really dead, he gets all angry. So he's acting more, bringing back more of the humanity parts, because he's showing emotion. He's remembering how to use things like salute and a gun. I love the character of Bub. But then back with Steel, he says, "Come on, Bub." And he's about to shoot him, but he gets attacked by more zombies and he gets bit, so he suicides himself by killing himself. And then back in the mines with Sarah and Bill, John comes in. They give them machine guns. They start shooting the blasting all more zombies, and they manage to get out of there by climbing up a ladder to get to their helicopter. Then with Rhodes, he's on his own, and then then you see Bub facing him like a standoff, and he's trying to put the ammo to the rifle, Rhodes, but then he runs, and then Bub shoots him in the shoulder, and he's running again. Bub shoots him again. He's getting his ass kicked, and he goes and opens one door. A horde of zombies is in his face, and he's like, ah! And like he has that old shit look on his face, like, ah, ah. And then Bub gives him one last shot at him right here, down here in the stomach, and then I wonder if he did put two and two together, if he finds out if that was him who shot the doctor, because he has that look on his face and he gives him a salute. Well, that's what I think though. I thought he from his face expression, I thought he put two and two together. I thought that he's the one who killed the doctor, because especially after the look he gave him from earlier. So, but then he gives him one last salute and just walks away. And then you get that gruesome death of Rhodes when he's witnessing himself being pulled apart, and he's like, choke on him. And you see a bunch of zombies just eating body parts, lots of blood around, and the rest of our main group, they manage to get to the helicopter. Then, just when Sarah opens the door, she gets attacked, but it's a dream. Well, because they have already escaped. They're on the island. They said she sees John like fishing and Bill on one of the part of the beach, and her just writing on a calendar. They've been there for some time. So yeah, and the film ends. I highly enjoyed Day of the Dead. It's definitely another great zombie movie. Do I put this better than the remake of Dawn of the Dead? Yes, I do, because it has the classic old zombie movie, especially from director George Romero. So yeah, I would say one of the best zombie movies I have seen. Yeah, my favorite, the original Dawn of the Dead. You got this film. Then I'll even say the remake of Dawn of the Dead as well. I'll even say that there's other ones I have not reviewed, but there's Return of the Living Dead, which I have not reviewed. I think some things I figure out since I reviewed this, might as well to review that shitty remake. God, that's gonna be such what was it? What's that term? A chore, or I would say torture to watch. I would say that's gonna be hard. That one's just gonna be hard for me to watch because I hate that film. I just hate it, especially the scenes when that guy who's the vegetarian zombie, which that's gonna be an absolute horrendous thing for me to watch through. It already shows how much I hate this remake. And it's just, if I ever have to review it, I have to rewatch it, all that again. But if I do, I'll just do it because for the sake of reviewing it, just because I reviewed the original Dawn of the Dead, and I did the remake, and I already reviewed this, so I might as well have to review that though, but the remake of that. But it's just gonna be so hard for me to watch. And I don't think I have. Actually, no, I don't. No, I think because this film was actually originally my brother's, but he gave it to me though, and I think I do remember that he has the remake, so I may have to borrow that. So, yeah, I think I'll have to borrow that. But if I do, it's gonna be hard for me to watch because it's so horrendous. But I think for this film, it's another classic zombie movie, especially from director George Romero. He did a great job directing. Top-notch makeup effects by Tom Savini. The gore is absolutely amazing, and the makeup of the zombies much more The gore and makeup it is an improvement over Dawn of the Dead though, but still, regardless though, I still love Dawn of the Dead though. But it's much better makeup and gore effects in this movie though. It's much more gruesome deaths, much more insane gore. So yeah, Tom's gonna be once again top notch job. The cast, I thought they all did a great job. Laura Lori Cardille, I thought she did really absolutely fine. Joesph Pilato, absolutely great as Captain Rhodes. He's a bad guy that you love to hate, but I think he pulled it off very well. Terry Alexander as John, he did good as well, and so did Jarlath. Conroy as Bill. They was Wonder, and Richard Liberty as Dr. Logan, really good as well. I think he also starred George Romero's other the original The Crazies as well. Yeah, I think I remember in the original The Crazies, Richard Liberty also starred in that as well. So, and Howard Sherman as Bub. I loved him as Bub. Really great. I would say if there was like a character of zombies that I really do like of all of them, I would say it's him, because he's the one who like remembers more, who's been trained to remember stuff, like how he's using some of the things, especially do the salute, which I liked, and the use especially badass moment ones when he's using the gun. I love the character of Bob. So if you can say like a zombie character, I highly enjoy Bob. And like if it's like between this one and Big Daddy and Land of the Dead, you say are like two of the smartest zombies because they know. Because in Land of the Dead, Big Daddy he's like gathering all the zombies to like the full on attack, like leading like his own army. He knows how he has a gun. He knows like learning how originally he knows what doesn't know what it is, but he goes fully knows what it is. He goes shooting at the armored car using the gas pump to pour out the gas like in Dennis Hopper's car, and then he uses a flaming thing which he sets the car on fire and killing Dennis Hopper. So you say that Big Daddy in Land of the Dead is also one of the smartest zombies, including I would say even Bub as well. But I would say Land of the Dead is a review for some other time though. I don't want to start reviewing all the zombie movies though, but Land of the Dead is for another review sometime down the road though. So. But for this film, I highly enjoy it. It also got a lot of praise. It's an 82% Rotten Tomatoes, and I think it had, and also said 7.2 on IMDb. Much lower than Dawn of the Dead's ratings though, but it still got a lot of positive reviews. Some people think that the film is boring because it takes place in an underground bunker, and there's not much of the deaths because it shows them just talking. I don't find what's so boring about this movie. Maybe it's because for the running time, because it's like 100 minutes basically. I mean, Dawn of the Dead was much longer, and I thought it was decently well paced. But some people think this is much more boring or lackluster. I don't get it. I thought I wasn't bored by this. I was entertained by the character, especially for Captain Rhodes. I was entertained by the gore, especially for Bub. But that's just me though, but yes, that's my review for George Romero's Day of the Dead. I would say it's another classic zombie film. I don't get what's so boring about it. Probably because it's probably just a lot of people just sitting there talking, but I don't get it though. I thought it was fine how it worked. And it's another good George Romero movie. Yep. But if anyone has not seen this original one, I would highly recommend check this one out. If anyone who likes zombie movies, I definitely would recommend checking it out. So, yeah, this is my review for the original Day of the Dead, and I don't know if I'm not entirely sure if I want to review the remake of it. If I do, you get to tell my emotions on this one. Oh man, it's gonna be so hard for me to watch. But if I do it, I'll do it just for the sake of reviewing it because I reviewed the original one, but I'm still deciding on it. Chances are I will though, but I'm already dreading it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review for Halloween month. Later.